weekend. Only on TVC News.
Hello and welcome. This is Borno Restoration. I am Jesse Tafida. On today's episode of the program, we will take you through efforts made by Governor Babagana Zulum in addressing the plight of vulnerable women and girls from education, job creation, economic empowerment and resettlement. Before we bring you all this, let's give you the latest on Borno today. Nigeria has one of the highest youth populations in Africa, with young people accounting for 70% of the country's population. Despite the vast potentials of the youth population, unemployment remains a significant concern for Nigeria and its citizens. This paints the country in a grim picture. Today, civil society organizations, development partners, and youth groups are here to discuss on how best youth can contribute their quota to national development. They are of the view that if government invests more in its youth, it can bring social reform and improvement in the society.
There is a crisis for youth in the Bay State, and we need young people to take the lead. We need young people to be in the fore. Government, humanitarian workers, development practitioners, peace builders, everyone must recognize that for the good of all, young people must be in the forefront. Young people must take the leadership. They must be tooled, they must be skilled, they must be trained, they must be capacitated, and they must be supported to ensure that they are able to provide that leadership for the region.
The youths have not really been involved as part of the responders, in the forefront. They see us more as beneficiaries of AIDS when it comes to humanitarian crisis issues. But right now we are changing that demand, and we're saying these things affect us. We want to be in the forefront to respond to these issues, to also provide solutions.
Stakeholders took turns at a panel discussion to advocate for involvement of youth in government policies. The conversation at a meeting focuses on intergenerational collaboration between the young and the old to expedite the much-needed development to Nigeria.
Young people remain the most viable group that can lead change for a situation that has been for 14 years and directly affects the most young people.
Young people believe that strong engagement with policymakers is necessary to fulfill the goals of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which include ending poverty and hunger, achieving gender equality, and empowering women and girls. The military's non-kinetic strategy in combating insurgency has continued to produce positive outcomes. Because of this, over 122,000 insurgents and other victims have voluntarily turned themselves in to the Nigerian government. The topic of conversation is essential to their ongoing de-radicalization and reintegration efforts. Seated at this hall are newsmen, youth groups and MDAs. They are here at the instance of the government to discuss on how best to ensure positive outcomes on the process.
Reconciliation and reintegration are not just about bringing back those who have been displaced, who are affected by the conflict. It is about rebuilding trust, fostering unity, and creating an environment where every individual feels valued and has the opportunity to contribute to the growth and development of our society.
The government is of the view that if journalists and youth groups carry out adequate sensitization to the public on the importance of reintegration, the process will be easy and effective.
As the fourth estate of the realm, the media has a critical role in shaping public opinion, promoting peace and narratives, and ensuring that the voices of the marginalized and the vulnerable are heard. We count on you to continue to report responsibly and to be a catalyst for positive change in our society.
The anticipation of your good reflection of what we would carry from here, that would learn from each other and will feed into each other and project moving forward, that will recover the peace we're in search with and gain development traction.
This one-day course on reintegration and reconciliation offers helpful strategies for bridging the knowledge gap between communities and former insurgents. It's the continuation of the Renewed Hope Initiative program to vulnerable women across the country. Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is represented by the wife of the Borno State Governor, Falmata Zulum. These vulnerable women are petty traders in the state. Each will take home 50,000 naira as grant to boost their businesses.
We recognize that empowering women economically is not just a moral imperative, but a strategic one. When women thrive, their families thrive, and by extension, our communities and our nation prosper. I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our RHI coordinators, state coordinators, and first ladies of states, and everyone involved in making this program a reality.
She insists that the support became necessary due to economic difficulties faced by citizens, especially women.
The grant provided today is to assist our women petty traders in overcoming some of their business challenges, expand their businesses, create more jobs, and contribute more robustly to our economy. Economic empowerment remains a core objective of the Renewed Hope Initiative, and we have consistently delivered on this promise for both women and youths across the 6 geopolitical zones to support the economic reforms of the administration of His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Beneficiaries appreciated the gesture and promised to make good use of the money. This intervention by Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, is to address poverty and improve economic stability of the people. She assured that same gesture will be extended to all the states across the country. A recent report by the World Food Programme indicates that conflict in the northeast region has resulted to about 4.4 million people facing food crisis. Most displaced people who are livestock farmers have lost their means of livelihoods due to shortage of feeds. But the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations wants to scale up livestock farming. It has organized training for government and partner extension staff across the northeast region on alternative feed fodder production.
There is now inconsistency in the availability of feed, especially during the lean season. But with these techniques that are going to learn, it will ensure all year round availability of the feed.
This training is really an essential step towards ensuring sustainable livestock production devoid of these clashes between farmers and herders. Enough and quality livestock feeds, which is a very important input toward livestock production and sustainability of livestock, is very, very essential and critical.
According to FAO, pasture development is essential for livestock production as it significantly impacts animal health, productivity and sustainability of farming system.
Now it's a very valuable feed source. It can be crushed and add some value to feed your livestock. Also, the use of hydroponics, which is a new area, is also a very good source of alternative feed to our livestock.
The training is expected to go a long way in enhancing livestock farming in the region.
Actually, if I will start listing projects that Zulum has done that has impacted me and the common man, it is uncountable. But one thing I know that has impacted the common man to the grassroots level is the introduction of mass transit and then the electric taxi within the metropolis. You know, actually with the removal of fuel subsidy, life has become very, very challenging to the common man. But to be sincere, the Zulum's buses and taxis have really touched the common man to the extent that almost everyone is saying, go to the grassroots and ask. Everyone is saying that it is one of the things that a common man knows that there is governance around, because people think that government is not something that has to do with the common man, but this transportation aspect alone has changed the narrative. Now that everyone has been impacted, not only the masses, even wealthy individuals now park their cars and follow the Zulum buses.
Our governor, Professor Zulum, for his effort, because I'm living in Polo, that is Polo High Court. But to my surprise, when I'm about to go to school, I saw a bus there near High Court. Then they are even calling me that the motto is 50 naira, which of sometime in the morning when I'm going to work, I used to pay 200, 300 naira to my destination. But to my surprise today, I pay 50 naira. And now I'm returning from my work now, going to Polo again, and I'm paying 50 naira. What I will tell our Oga, that is Professor Zulum, we are very grateful because of his effort. More effort, more elbow to his work. We pray that God will comfort him, God will be with him, and also our God will give him a prosperity life so that he can continue to upgrade this effort that he has done. So we are very, very grateful. We are saying thank you very much.
every citizen of Borno would acknowledge that yes, there is a government in the state. This government is all about service delivery and good governance. We have witnessed quite a reasonable and unquantifiable service delivery in terms of physical as well as policies geared to improve the lots of the citizen. For me, if I'm to take one, certainly I will say the governor's commitment to service delivery and people-centered governance. This has been a hallmark of Governor Zulum. However, to talk on the structures put in place, the year 2023 witnessed remarkable improvement in the provision of health facilities, ensuring that citizens have access to affordable and accessible healthcare delivery. Education, we all know that before now how the Boko Haram incidents has been a problem to us, and what they were saying, Western education is taboo. The governor is on his oath to ensure that he has revived the education sector to ensure future development of citizens. Not forgetting our brothers and sisters who that were displaced by the insurgency and the governor's commitment, moving irrespective of weather, time, and hard-to-reach locations to provide succor to citizens in terms of humanitarian support and giving them that hope that yes, they have something in the future to do, taking them or making them understand that the hopelessness of this Boko Haram will soon be over, and giving hope and livelihood support to ensure that they pick up their pieces and then continue with life as it used to be. A restoration of peace in Borno, people can attest that yes, peace has gradually returned to Borno. People go about their normal life. For somebody coming out of the country, out of the state, only feels about Borno, you can look at it from a different perspective. But when you come here, you begin to wonder if at all this is the Borno people have been talking about outside the state. Life has returned. And then the last 4.5 years of Governor Zulum, there were remarkable improvement in terms of structures, infrastructure. If you come into the state capital, you certainly know that there is a governance, there is a government in place, which means Zulum is working. And people have been attesting to it. We appreciate the support they've been giving to the government, understanding his style of leadership, what he means by service delivery and good governance. I can talk on and on and on, but the truth is that in the last 4.5 years of Governor Zulum in Borno State, there is a remarkable improvement in terms of all aspects of human endeavor.
The governor has been a humanitarian governor even before the removal of the subsidy, and I am proud to say that my governor was the first governor that began the distribution of food palliatives, and again he was the first governor who launched the mass transit so that he could ease the means of transportation, especially to the farmers, which by everybody knows the people of Borno are mostly farmers, especially the masses. Everybody's seen how he has given them free transport so that this will help them to go to their farm and by also make them to cultivate their crops back home successfully.
For us, he's the only governor because he is someone that has the political will. He has the commitment, and most importantly, he has his people at heart. And if you combine these three elements, there is no way you will not get somebody like His Excellency Professor Babagana Umar Zulum. Now, as a member of his cabinet, you have no option but to support him, because you have a leader that is leading by example. You have someone that does not sleep. So who are you to go and sleep? You have someone that is so compassionate, so caring about the security situation, about the agricultural situation, about the settlement, about reconciliation, about reintegration, about educating the girl child. Who am I, as a mere commissioner of Women Affairs and Social Development, that I will not support you? It's the paradigms are already on ground. There's a benchmark. So if you don't key into what Professor Babagana Zulum is doing, you are already a failure. You understand? So the leadership, the political will, the commitment, the dedication, and compassion for everyone in Borno State leaves us with no option. We are on standby 24/7. There is no commissioner that you say, it's weekend, it's after 6. That does not exist in our agenda, because your principal is someone that leads by example. And so it is compulsory, it is a must that we must employ all the strategies, all the energy that exists in us to ensure that the 10-pact agenda, the 25-year development plan, the 10-year strategic plan of Borno State works. As a Commissioner for Women Affairs, poverty must be brought to zero. Our girls must go to school, both within and outside Nigeria. People living with disabilities must be given their chance to survive, to exist. Children must benefit, they must have right to education, right to shelter, right to good health. And that is why the child rights law has been domesticated in Borno State. And that is why the VAP law is well implemented. We have removed the stigma that is associated with being a victim of rape. We have had so many, over 600 convictions of people that have raped from across the state in the last couple of years. And this is because the culture of silence is no more. Speak out. The governor's wife is our ambassador. She leads. We have gender desks in all the police stations. We are having maximum support from the traditional rulers. The religious leaders are supporting us because our leader is in the forefront.
For one, he's a professor. For two, he came from a very humble beginning and he saw how education became a catalyst for him to reach these heights. And education is a key sector, is the fundamental of human capital development. Every developed society has a good literacy index. So I believe these are reasons enough for him to invest massively in the education sector. His Excellency has returned 15 rural schools and more than the 10 mega schools out of the 30 commissioned were all in rural areas. And that has created significant access to children who were in that community who initially did not have access to school. When you go back to those communities, you will now see the presence of schooling, which was not there before. You see, the governor is at the strategic level. He gives the directives. We at the operational level, ours is to implement the directives. So we would ensure that we work on his vision and the focus to see that education is given to the less privileged child, qualitative education. And this is part of our pillar in our 25-year development plan and our 10-pact agenda. So we shall key into it and ensure that this is achieved.
At the bottom of my heart, I want to express my sincere appreciation to all of you that voted us into another phase of public service. Again, I commit to making sure that we shall work 100% for the benefit of all residents of Borno State, regardless of political, ethnic, and religious persuasions. I want to assure you, the people of Borno State, that the victory you have granted us will neither make us arrogant, nor will it make us to take you for granted.
And that's our package on this episode of Borno Restoration. Many thanks for watching. I am Jesse Tafida. See you next time. Bye-bye.